Good morning everyone. Today's the day that I'm going to be going back up the Buckby flight. It started off quite sunny, but now it's rather dull. I think it's going to be like it all day. I'm not looking to set off immediately. I've got to have breakfast, of course. I'm Alan. I own a 45-foot narrowboat, have an interest in industrial heritage, transport and technology, and invite you to join me as I cruise, repair and maintain my boat and visit events and places of historic interest. And I'm going to wait till there's a little bit more activity. Some boats have passed already in both directions, so the locks are being used. And I'm obviously going to look out for a boat passing, heading towards the locks that I might be able to share with. That's very important for me if I can share. It saves a lot of time and trouble really. Going into a lock by yourself, first of all you've got to empty the lock if it's full. I have to climb on my roof to get out of the lock, and if I can avoid that, it's best to do so. The lock ladders are not always in the best positions. Ideally, if you could just sort of glide past and jump on the lock ladder, but as I've said before, they can be very slippy. I remember once there was a brick wedged in one of the rungs and I sort of knocked it out of its position. So you never know what you're going to find. So I'm hoping to share with another boaters if it's crewed of course. And I'll catch up with you a little bit later. As I said earlier, there have been quite a few boat movements today. So it's time for breakfast. I have cereal, this time with bananas in, or banana. That was a surprise to see that boat come past, having passed it twice myself, the last time just yesterday. Strange how things work out, isn't it? I've always thought that. Those odd coincidences you get now and again, or more often than not actually. I've decided I've got to go. There was a boat just exited the lock. There are no boats in sight behind me at the moment. Not that I've got a clear view. No, there's no boat coming. I think I just have to go for it, take my time and hope a boat comes into view that is coming up through the locks. Thanks for waiting, thank you. I've just seen a single boat leave the lock. Sometimes it's difficult to see or to interpret what you're seeing. The lock is still full, I think. The other boat's just exiting, so probably the gates aren't shut yet. There's a lot of activity up there. I think all I'm seeing is leaking gates rather than a lock being emptied. I'm going to pull over now. I've just met Martin and Julie, who are on Rhapsody in blue behind me, facing that way. They've gone to get their windlasses and they're going to help me through this lock. Someone else has gone ahead to tell the boater that was in the lock that I'm going to join them in lock 12, the next lock up. So that's great. I'm really pleased about that. Today I pass up through the Buckby lock flight, a journey of about 2¼ miles. The gates have opened and I'm just going in. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I said the other day, you never know who you're going to meet when you're out boating. And to meet Martin and Julie like this is absolutely fantastic, to give me that help. Thank you so much. Rising up nice and steadily. The other boat is now in the lock ahead, waiting for me, which is wonderful. Everything's wonderful today, isn't it? I see there's another boat coming up behind now, wanting to go into this lock. Thank you so much, and to you. Enjoy your trip. Thank you. All the best. Thanks very much for your help. The sun is coming out now. Really brightens things up with the sun, doesn't it? I'll pop this off. It's got very warm all of a sudden. Boat ahead isn't quite centred. Hello. I'm glad I caught up with you. Thanks for waiting. This is lock 12 I'm in at the moment. The boat suddenly dives backwards when they open the paddles. No, they're hard. They're very hard locks, aren't they? Very hard indeed. There's a boat just turned up, so that's good because we won't need to shut the gates when we leave. They'll be able to come straight in. The lady was just telling me they're not going through the top lock. But when I came through there were volunteers there, so you never know. You might be lucky. It's gone dull again now. That lock was already empty. All they had to do was open the gates, which is excellent. So we can go straight in now. And if that boat ahead obviously has come out of a lock and no one's gone in it, that lock will be empty and sort of ready for us to go in. My boat is never too keen to stop. No. It's hard work.
No brakes.
We're rising up fairly quickly. Looking at the lock ahead, it looks as though one of the gates might be open. That's what it looks like. Sorry? All right. Yeah, it's hard work. It takes a lot of time to do all the editing and everything.
It takes up a lot of time.
Yeah. But I've been filming my travels for about 25 years, so when I got the boat, it just seemed natural to do the YouTube as well. So. The boater I'm sharing with has gone ahead to open the gate. One gate was open, as I said earlier. He's now opened the other gate. It saves time when you don't have to wait for a lock to empty. It really does. Just coming into lock 10 now. This is lock 10 we're in now. Thank you. I was able to lend a hand at that lock because we were rising up. I could walk round, open the gate paddle on the other side, which hadn't been done, then open the gate, wait for the boat to go out, and then shut the gate, walk round again, and get back on my boat. So that helped. Hope. There's a little more distance between lock 10 and lock 9. We've got to go under the railway. There are people at the lock ahead. Not quite sure what they're doing though. Raising a gate paddle. They must be letting water into the lock, I think. Just have to wait here for the time being. Just going into the lock now. Another boat now wanting to come into this lock, so they'll have to empty it after we've left. There could be a boat waiting to come in. I can't see any because I'm too low down at the moment. As we rise up, I'll get an idea whether there is another boat there. My boat was charging forward then. The water comes in, hits the gates and pushes you back forward. But I can see there is a boat waiting to come in. Just leaving Lock 9 now. We spent a lot of time here, I don't know how long, but I should think half an hour or so. But we're waiting for the other boat to leave. Apparently they had a problem shutting the gates whilst we were waiting down below. They had to reopen them and then really force them hard to get them closed. Fellows, Morton and Clayton. Very well known name. There are a couple of boys up here, B-U-O-Y-S. I don't remember seeing them when I came through. Just going under bridge 13. That's what it says. It's 13. There's a bit of a chill again now. Dark clouds ahead. Looks a bit threatening. The lock ahead will be set against us because of the boat that was ahead of us. In other words, the lock is full and it needs to be emptied so that we can go in. This is lock 8, the 6th lock we've done. There's one more to go, which is lock 7. I'll be by myself on that lock, because these boaters are going to moor up now. Thank you very much for your help, much appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. So that's 6 or 7 locks done. The top lock is a bit of a problem because you can't actually see it. You've got to moor up, walk under the road bridge to get to the lock, and I've just asked someone who's come down from there and he says there are no volunteers to help. So hopefully there's a pub alongside, maybe some people there will be able to assist. We'll see. Nice looking house that I'm passing. I'm just approaching top lock now, so I'm going to stop filming and I'll catch up with you when I'm in the lock or some other time. It's always awkward when you're on an inside bend. I had to use the lock ladder to get out of the lock, and I'll explain more about that when I moor up. Fortunately, I had some help from another boater. It was a bit of daring do when I left the lock. I'll explain a little bit later. This is the New Inn pub behind me. I'm I'm going to stop to empty my cassette toilet and get rid of my rubbish. So I'm just going to moor up behind this boat. I've just emptied my toilet cassette. Well, that's soon done. Just need to put it in the boat and I'll be underway again very shortly. I'm just going to go and fill this bottle with water. I do have plenty of water in my main tank and I still have a lot of other drinking water, so it's not essential, but as I'm here, go this way. It seemed to be worth doing. I find it makes it easier to do this than to hold the bottle. I'm ready to move on again now. I'm just a short distance from Norton Junction, where I'll bear right onto the Leicester line, and then I'm going to go a short way and moor up. It's possible I may finish moored up where I was before. I hope not. I've got somewhere else in mind. We'll just see what happens. So I'll be off very shortly now. Off again. Whilst I was moored up, no boats came through the locks at all. And I must have been stopped for 3/4 of an hour or something. There's a boat up ahead turning onto the junction, or turning at the junction I should say, onto the Leicester line. That tells me, of course, that it's clear for me to follow. I'm just letting the boat get ahead of me. It stopped to pick someone up. So I've just been under Bridge 1 again. Tells you it's the start of the Leicester line, doesn't it? Bridge number 1. Well, it's a very dull day today. We have seen a little bit of sun, but on the whole, it's as promised, dull. There's not really much more to say than that. I haven't mentioned the time. It's 3:35. Time for a late lunch, I think. I haven't eaten since breakfast, but I did sneak one humbug sweet. But apart from that, nothing. So I am feeling a little bit peckish actually. I'm thinking of mooring opposite the marina ahead, but it depends if there's any boats moored up there already. I think I can only see one. Part of the area, or the length, is restricted, I think, to allow turning of boats into the marina. I actually think I can moor along here. Hello. The only problem is it's rather shaded. If I pull the boat back a bit, the two back solar panels will have light, so that's what I'm going to do. Let me show you the space I've got above the solar panels. It may not look like it, but there is a bit of free air above it. Before I have my late lunch, I'm just going to explain what happened at Top Lock 7. When I arrived and was mooring up, I realised that the gates were open and there was a boat coming out. And I signalled to that boater to leave the gates open. And I could see him signal to someone else. I think actually he might have been a sole boater and he may have been signalling to someone having a drink at the pub. But anyway, the gates were left open, which then allowed me to cruise in. It's a double lock. I came in and I clung to the right hand side, the starboard side. To get out of the lock, I need to climb on the roof of my boat, walk along the boat to where the lock ladder is positioned. So I did that. I take with me the mooring line and my windlass, and I walked along, across the boat as it were, across the roof of the boat to get to the right hand side. But the boat had moved away a little bit from the wall. It wasn't as close to the wall for comfort as it should have been. So using my windlass, which I've actually put away now, but just get it out again. Using my windlass, I just hooked it like that onto one of the rungs of the ladder, and I pulled the boat in. That enabled me to step out onto the ladder. Now, one of the problems with the ladder is that the rungs are definitely no more than, I would say, about 3 inches away from the wall behind. So you're putting your foot onto a rung, but you can't get the sole of your foot on properly because the gap is so small. Literally no more than 3 inches, I would say. Now, with some lock ladders, they have a sort of recess behind them, or a curved sort of recess, which means you can put your foot on the ladder quite well, get a proper grip. But with me, I'm just getting a little bit of a toe hold. I've taken my boots off now, but I can't really show you. But only that part of your sole, where the toes are, is actually getting onto the ladder. And it's very, very tricky. I mean, fortunately, there are only a few rungs to climb, but one has to be so very, very careful. Once I was up, there was no problem. There was a boat ahead of me waiting to come into the lock, and the lady from that boat very kindly came forward and helped me with the paddles while I held the boat steady. So many thanks to her. I didn't catch her name or anything, but many thanks. It's much appreciated, your help today. And after that, it was all pretty straightforward. So that's it, really. That's the tale of me coming up through Top Lock 7. I'm now going to have my late lunch. It is rather dark in the boat, I have to say. I will pop up here to eat my lunch and sandwich and that, but I'm going to say bye for now. I'm not sure when I'll be speaking to you again. Probably be tomorrow now, I think. Many thanks for watching. Look after yourselves, your friends and families. Take the utmost care in whatever you're doing. Bye for now. Bye everyone. Take care.